In this lesson, let's delve into the SQL having clause. I personally call it the where clause for grouped data and aggregate functions. Having is used with group by. Unlike the where clause, which filters rows before aggregation, the having clause filters groups after aggregation. Having allows filters based on aggregate functions like count, sum, average, etc. The having clause was specifically added to SQL because the where keyword cannot be used with aggregate functions. Take a look at this sales data and ponder over the question being asked. Find the total quantity of products purchased by each customer. From our previous lesson, I bet you realize we have to use the group by clause to solve this query. For the sake of understanding the having clause, which is used in conjunction with group by, let's briefly review the process again. We'll approach this like professional data analysts, thinking systematically about how the database processes our query. First, we identify the table we're querying from with the from statement, in this case, the sales table. Since we need to find each customer's total quantity purchased, we'll then group by customer. The database will match each customer to their purchases: Alice, Bob, Diana, and Charlie. Before the database returns an output, we need to select the exact columns needed. We'll return customer and sum quantity as total, as seen in the headers. This is how group by works. Now, what if we're asked to indicate which customers bought more than 10 items in total? This is where the having clause comes in. As I mentioned earlier, in situations where we use group by with an aggregate function, we cannot use the where statement for filtering grouped results. We need to use the having clause. By specifying having total greater than 10, the database will return only Bob and Diana, since they are the only customers with total purchased quantities greater than 10. This is the power of the having clause. Always look out for questions that require both: 1. Using an aggregate function in the select statement, and 2. Filtering data after grouping. When these conditions exist, you need to use the having clause, not the where clause. Let's review our question again and learn to identify the key hints. Find the total quantity of products purchased by each customer and indicate which customer bought more than 10 items in total. When analyzing such questions, look for these clues. Total quantity indicates an aggregation, in this case, the sum aggregate function. By each customer suggests grouping the customers with group by. Which customer bought more than 10 items in total indicates filtering after aggregation, which requires the having clause. Remember these cues when approaching similar problems. Read the learning notes, submit the query for this page, and I'll see you in the next lesson.